All right, we won't do it. You can do it. You can do it for me personally,
Fair,
off
fair.
camera, and I'll try my best to do it when I come back. All right, so why'd you choose vampires?
Vampires? I've been playing it for like 2 months before, because I do a lot of playing on online on Moto, and I just played for like 2 months, and I was, I racked up like 20 QPs for MOCS Season 2, and I was just like, I want to go into this and play something I'm familiar with that I think has a good shot against the field, and I took that, and I did a lot of testing online, but I wasn't happy with the build that I had currently, and so I think like last night I just made the switch over to the Highborn, going into the aggro mode, and so I was actually up until like 4 a.m. testing because I couldn't find a build that I liked, and then 4 a.m. came around, I took a 1 hour nap, and now I'm here. So.
Now, I didn't really get a good chance. I know there were during the PT in San Diego, there were a handful of vampire decks. I think maybe 20 decks made it to day 2.
Yeah.
Was your list similar to those? Inspired by those? Did you just grab one of those lists? It's fine.
The funny thing is that I was working on a list independently, and then I checked the day 2, the highest finisher, the guy who got 27 points, and it was like just about card per card exactly what I wanted to run. The only main deck switch that I think I had with him was he was running Urge Defeat, and I like Disfigure a lot better, just because especially you want to be able to deal with like turn 1 Goblin Guides or things like that, and then drop a 2-drop on turn 2. And I thought that Disfigure gave me more flexibility with that.
Right. It's definitely, it seems like a better curve.
Yeah.
It fits your curve better because what else are you doing on turn 1? Do you have any questions?
The chat actually wanted to know what your sideboard plan is for different decks, especially for Jund, because that's not a good matchup for you.
If anyone says that they have an excellent matchup for Jund with a Vampires list, I would love to see it, because it's basically like a coin flip with Jund so far this tournament. I have 3 Duresses, 2 Myers Toll, and the 3rd Mind Sludge on the board. Before I started with this list, I was running the whole plan. I was talking to my buddy Conrad Jackson down in Tampa. We came up with a game plan. We're like, you don't drop permanents, and basically what you're trying to do is deal with all their creatures, and then Mind Sludge them on turn 5. But then the more that I was playing around with it, having like 3 Mind Sludges in the main or something like that was just overkill. And I really like what I like about this particular build of Vampires is you can actually curve out and just make them misuse their mana a lot. Like on turn 3, instead of them casting a Threat, so they're going to terminate your guy, or just things like that, and just to kind of keep them off balance, because there's really not much that you can do against a Jund player, because they can keep like 5 lands of Broodmate and like Bloodbraid up and just get there.
So what matchups have you had today so far?
I went 1-1 against Jund so far. Played against a little bit of White Weenie. Played against the Mirror the round before this, and that was a pretty interesting matchup on that one. And then a lot of the Knight of Reliquary decks, which I think that the Vampires matches up very well with, because you're bringing in like 7 pieces of removal that kill Baneslayers, kill Knight of Reliquaries, and so it's I think it was a great choice for today.
Yeah, it seems like Deathmark has to be one of the best removal spells right now in this environment.
Absolutely. That and and another thing is I spent about 2 weeks thinking about Marsh Casualties over Infest, and I think that Marsh Casualties right now is just better because in a world full of like Birds of Paradises and Noble Hierarchs, you want to be able to wipe their board on turn 2, and it's not bad to just like. It's not the greatest, like,
to 1-for-1 them.
Yeah, 1-for-1 them, but sometimes you get lucky and just, like, wipe a Lotus Cobra and a Hierarch and just get there like I just did. Got a little lucky.
We liked it. We saw the 2-for-1. Anything else, Ben SW Swartz?
Well, if you could pick the matchups you have in top 8, what do you wish to play against?
I would love to play against the Empty Chair, to be honest with you, but Realistically speaking, I want to avoid Jund because it's pretty much like I said, it's like a coin flip. And I'm 1-1 in my Jund matchups today. I wouldn't mind seeing a couple Knight of the Reliquary decks, not in particularly LSV's list, but just some, the green, white, blacks or what have you. I'm fairly confident in my White Weenie matchup, and just pretty much anything where I feel like I'm at an advantage and not Jones because flipping a coin for that one.
Sure. I know I was talking to a bunch of the Michigan guys in the Pro Tour. They all decided to play the Vampires deck, and they said that if they could just dodge Jund, they were playing very similar to you. They felt that they had a great run in the tournament. And Ari Lax, who's a Michiganer, did just that. He dodged Jund for like the first 5 rounds. I think he got 1 loss. First 5 rounds, did okay in the first draft, and then just second day he just couldn't pull anything together. I think he went 1-2 or 0-3 in his first draft, and then played against Jund twice, and just
Jund's always going to be a rough. I mean, unless you go overboard, and you can't even spreading seas against Jund now because there's that new blue-white control deck that's pretty insane.
Sure. Have you played against that blue-white control deck at all today?
I kind of did, but it was more like with an Esper Splash, so it wasn't like the true Chapin Jace, control deck that him and the Steve played at the Pro Tour. But it was a fairly good matchup. It was actually kind of brutal because I was down game 1 because he Esper charged me 4 times.
I mean, Mind Sludge is definitely a great card in that matchup.
Absolutely.
Snow Tread says, did you ask him about the step links for me? Does that mean anything? Could be just some weirdo.
Did you ask him about the step? I don't know.
We don't know what that means, Snow Treads.
So are you originally from Tampa, but you
I moved up here. It's actually oddly enough. I go down to Tampa every now and then, like a GP Tampa, which was my best finish today. But,
you wanted to borrow them for Friday Night Magic? Someone want to borrow step links from you? If you want to borrow step links from Josh, I'm sure he'll lend them to you for your Friday Night Magic. But right now, he has a 5K to top 8.
Oh, yeah.
Step by step, baby steps.
Baby steps.
Or step by step, like the new Kids on the Block song. Step by step. I've been doing 90s songs all day.
It's funny that he's asking me for cards because I actually don't own any cards.
Not even step links this? You haven't drafted for just to keep in your pocket?
I don't play paper Magic that much, to be honest with you. Like I go to GP. I went to the GP. Hopefully I'm going down to the 5K in Orlando coming up in March, is it? But yeah, all my buddies in Tampa have all my cards. So hopefully, if you guys are listening now, if I need a deck to play, you guys better hook me up.
What's your moto name? So maybe
my moto name. It's Jade Show 18. I'm kind of a huge donk though because I just play a lot, and it might be just terrible lists, but I play a lot.
Sure.
All right. So I guess other than blending Snow Treads and step links, is there anything else?
Do you know any of the Orlando guys? I know a bunch of.
Oh yeah, there's
Eric Munch.
I know Fatty Josh's crew, like him, sure. Josh Martinez and them. But mainly it's just Tampa girl, and the people going over to Kit's house to draft. Kit Holland, give a shout out to you guys down there in Tampa.
Megan Holland, a big fan of our show.
Yeah, she's pretty awesome. I mean, it's not often you can day to a GP and then just have like cupcakes or pies or whatever. It's fantastic.
Exactly right. Rashad
I don't get it.
You don't get it? Wait, you don't like pies?
I do. What kind of pie?
I mean, I think it was pumpkin. I know.
I'm more of a sweet potato pie guy.
A yam pie.
You don't make pies out of yams. You candy yams. You make pies out of sweet potatoes.
I'm sorry, Rashad.
I tell you this every day.
I should just take cooking lessons from Rashad.
Or watch him on YouTube.
There's some tension going on in the booth.
It's pretty rough back here. So that, I mean, it's all fun and games when you watch on the stream, but behind the scenes,
I believe it.
If there's any more questions on the chat for Josh, do you have anything else you want to say?
Actually, oddly enough, I wore this shirt when I day 2 GP Tampa, and I'm wearing it today. I'd just like to give a shout out to Michael and all the guys down at Armada Games. Thank you for the shirt, guys, and just want to give a shout out to them, and also at Fatty J's store too, the Game Academy. I think Tampa Magic is really blown up, and it makes me kind of sad that I'm not there. It's like as soon as I left, FJ moved in, Armada got big.
Maybe they were just waiting for you to leave. I mean, I'm not trying to start anything, but it may not be a coincidence.
It's kind of terrible because I was like the token Asian guy there, and now we need another Asian.
Now they need someone else to be a man.
All right, Rashad. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for having on. This is Josh with Vampires. He's he's 8-1, and he should be able to draw the top 8. Get to see some vampires in the top 8 again. It's just